Welcome to the Coherent Life. I'm Ty. We're going to kick back and talk about survival mode, coherence, and creating your life on purpose through real conversations about things like relationships, money, health, and the patterns that keep repeating in everyday life. If you already know that thoughts create reality but keep getting pulled into old patterns, stress, or overwhelm, you're in the right place. When it comes to knowing what you need to do but not doing it, a lot of people tell me the same things. I don't have time. I'm so overwhelmed. I don't have the energy. I don't even know where to start. I'll do it later. Or even, I'm good where I am. And if you're listening to this, maybe you know there's something you're not doing, a conversation you're not having, a boundary you're not setting, support you're not asking for, something you're not reaching for, or even allowing yourself to want. I see this all the time. I see people who know exactly what would help them and still find themselves not doing it. They stay in their head. They stay in the cyclical narrative. I can't do that right now. I have to deal with this first. I see people who could ask for help with something that feels overwhelming and don't. They carry it alone. I see people continuing habits that are clearly in the way of what they want, even when they're fully aware of it. And in those moments, their thoughts sound like, I don't have time. I don't want anyone to know I'm struggling. This feels good right now. I'll do it later. And if this is happening for you, it's not that you need to try harder or be more disciplined. What's actually happening is you're probably in a survival response. When your brain is in survival mode, your thoughts are focused on surviving a perceived threat. There isn't much space for long term thinking. There isn't much space for creativity. There isn't much space for aligned action. So even if intellectually you know you'd feel better if you sent that email, you know avoiding that conversation is making it worse. You know that habit is getting in the way. You know something different would actually help you. Your system might not feel available to follow through because it's trying to protect you. If your system thinks something isn't safe, of course you're not doing it. So you stay where you are. And sometimes what you'll hear yourself saying is, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. And I want to challenge that because a lot of the time you do know. We all have access to inner wisdom, but the words I don't know create a barrier of entry to the wisdom within you. The thought I don't know can feel safer. But as long as you don't know, you don't have to decide. You don't have to risk being wrong. You don't have to risk change. I had a client realize this recently. She kept saying, I don't know, repeatedly all day, every day about different things. But when she slowed down, it became really clear that she does know. She does know what she wants. She does know what the next step is. She just didn't feel safe taking that step because it would lead her to the identity she's never been before. And when she saw that, she realized how often she had been saying, I don't know, as a way to stay in indecision. Upon reflection, she couldn't believe that she had been speaking, I don't know, unto herself for so long, which kept her, quote, safe in not choosing. And if that's happening for you, what if it's because your system is trying to protect you from a threat that's no longer there? What if you're in survival mode? Depending on your state, survival mode can show up in different ways. If you're in fight, it can look like trying to force things, feeling defensive, wanting to control the outcome, or having the I'll just do it myself so it gets done right attitude. If you're in flight, it can look like staying busy, cleaning instead of sending the email, working on other things instead of having the conversation, filling your schedule so there's no space to slow down. If you're in freeze, it can look like not moving, overthinking, scrolling, saying I'll do it later, and that later keeps getting pushed out. And sometimes it sounds like the perpetual I don't know. If you're in fawn, it can look like disconnecting from yourself, saying yes when you mean no, avoiding the conversation so no one gets upset. So now look at this. You know you need to have the conversation, and you might notice yourself avoiding it. You know you need to ask for help, and you might not. You know something would support you, and you stay in your head instead of taking action. So it's not that you don't know what to do. You do know. Your system doesn't feel safe enough to do it because to your system, familiar feels like safety, whether it's good for you or not. If you're used to overthinking, that can feel safe. If you're used to staying busy instead of slowing down, that can feel safe. If you're used to avoiding hard conversations, that can feel safe. If you're used to putting other people first, that can feel safe. But what if it's not actually creating safety? What if it's perpetuating the reality of just getting by? What if it's a pattern your nervous system learned? That familiar feels safe, and slowing down, being present, being honest about what you can and can't do, and taking aligned action, that feels uncomfortable, sometimes even unsafe. This is where coherence can support you because coherence creates a grounded, present state where following through actually becomes available, where you can pause, observe what's happening, and decide how you want to respond. Not react, respond. And with practice, your baseline begins to shift from reacting to responding. And this is what I see with my clients. They begin to come out of the overthinking loop. They start to take action with more belief in themselves. They move out of desperation into receptivity, out of defeat into hope, and from hope into self empowerment. If you're noticing you're not doing the thing that you know would help you move closer to what you want, it's not because you don't want to. It's because what you're experiencing feels familiar. Overwhelm can be a baseline, a place that feels normal, even if it's exhausting. What if you don't need more education, information, or time to get ready for your personal shift? You need more coherence because coherence creates inner safety, security, stability, and flexibility. And here's the irony: living in a constant state of emergency drains your energy to handle real emergencies. But when your baseline is more coherent, you think more clearly, you respond more intentionally, and you have more energy available to navigate difficult or urgent circumstances. If this episode has been resonating so far, pause, take a few deep breaths, relax your body, and bring your attention to your heart. And gently ask yourself, what do I already know that I am not doing? Once you know what that is, follow up with this thought: even though I'm not doing it yet, I can become a person that thrives. And then practice. Practice coherence and practice the new thought. The transition out of survival mode and into thriving is something that requires practice and repetition. If you're ready to begin building a more coherent baseline, the Stop, Drop, Create Coherence video series is designed to support you in that. It offers a structured way to practice coherence consistently so your system can begin to learn what safety feels like. You can find it at shamantaima.com under the Stop, Drop, Create Coherence tab. That's ShamanTaima.com under the Stop, Drop, Create Coherence tab.